All right, let's dive into this wild story about digital real estate. Seriously, it's a tale about pure, dumb luck, an absolute windfall of cash, and a really bold plan to completely redesign a piece of the internet for the age of AI. So our story kicks off right here on this tiny island, Anguilla. It's this beautiful, pretty quiet place in the Caribbean. Its population is smaller than most towns. It seems like the last place on Earth you'd expect to find a tech boom worth millions and millions of dollars. But get this, in 2023, this tiny island nation raked in a staggering $32 million. And this wasn't from tourism, it wasn't from banking. Nope, it came from a digital asset they just happened to own. That entire windfall came from just two letters, .ai. You see, decades ago, Anguilla was assigned .ai as its country code, just like Germany has .de or Japan has .jp. And then, by a complete stroke of luck, AI became maybe the most important acronym in all of technology. And just like that, boom, every single artificial intelligence company, every researcher, every startup on the planet wanted a .ai address. It sparked a digital gold rush, and little Anguilla suddenly found itself sitting on top of the mine, turning this obscure country code into a national treasure completely by accident. And this is where it gets really crazy. Just look at the scale of this. In 2023, that revenue was over 10% of the island's entire GDP. That's huge. But look at the projection for 2025. It suggests that this accidental digital asset could make up almost half of the country's entire income. I mean, that is just a stunning transformation. But here's the twist. This incredible story of accidental success actually shines a huge spotlight on some major challenges for the future of the internet. It turns out relying on luck to build our critical infrastructure, well, it has some serious downsides. So here's the first massive problem we're facing. The internet we all use today, it was built for people. But the next internet, that's going to be buzzing with billions, maybe trillions of autonomous AI agents. Think bots, personal assistants, smart devices, all needing to talk and transact with each other. How do they prove who they are? You see, the internet for us, for humans, it's all about websites, emails, and branding. But this coming AI internet has completely different needs. It's got to have a system for verifiable identity. It needs secure machine-to-machine transactions. It needs a fundamental way for all these agents to actually trust each other. Our current system just wasn't built for that. And then there's problem number two. Language. AI is an English acronym, right? But for more than 1.3 billion people who speak Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian, the term is inteligencia artificial, or intelligence artificielle. Their natural acronym is IA. So this accidental .ai gold rush has basically locked a huge chunk of the world's population out of their own native digital language for this new era. Okay, so this brings us to a really bold proposal designed to fix both of these problems. What if, instead of relying on accidents of geography, we actually built a new digital frontier for AI on purpose? Let me introduce you to the concept of the .ia domain. The idea here is just so elegant. Create a brand new top-level domain, .ai, built from the ground up for the age of AI. It would solve both problems in one shot. It would serve that critical need for a verifiable identity layer for AI agents, while at the same time creating an intuitive, inclusive digital home for those 1.3 billion Romance language speakers. Now, this is the really crucial part. How would it be governed? Unlike .ai, where all the money flows to one country, the plan for .ia is to run it as a digital commons. Think of it as a resource owned and managed by the global community. It would be run by a neutral, international nonprofit, a lot like the .eu domain. This whole model ensures stability, it avoids political risks, and it means over 90% of the revenue gets reinvested right back into the community. Okay, it sounds like a fantastic idea, right? But there's one huge hurdle. According to the rules that govern the internet, creating a new two-letter domain like this is, well, it's pretty much impossible. So how on earth could this ever happen? And I'm not kidding. This is the actual rule from ICANN, the organization that manages all of this. Two-letter domains are strictly reserved for country codes, period. It keeps the system from becoming a mess. So, on the surface, this rule makes the whole .ia proposal a complete non-starter. So how do you get around a rule that seems written in stone? Well, this is where the strategy gets really clever. The plan is to combine two historical exceptions to the rules.
First, you point to the .eu domain and argue that .ai represents a supranational interest, a global technology that doesn't belong to any one country. Then you point to the .cat precedent for the Catalan language and argue that .ai also serves a specific community, in this case, a massive global linguistic group. It's this unique hybrid argument for a totally unique time in history.
So, let's just imagine this audacious plan actually works. What's the scale here? Just how big could this new digital frontier really be?
This table really puts it all into perspective. I mean, of course, nothing is going to touch .com, it's the undisputed king. But look at the conservative projection for .ia. By 2030, we could be looking at 1.3 million domains, generating around $65 million a year. That puts it right up there with heavy hitters like .ai and .co, making it a major player on the internet right from day one. And all of this leaves us with one final, really crucial question. The story of AI shows us a future that's built by accident, a lucky break that created a huge windfall, but also some deep structural problems. The proposal for IATA, on the other hand, represents a totally different path. It's a future built by design, with intention, with inclusivity, and with global stewardship baked in from the start. Which one of those paths we choose is going to define the internet for generations to come.